favorite opening credit sequence?
Enter the Void has one of the best opening credits I've ever seen. The Gaspar Noé film. It's like 2 minutes long, and it's just an assault on the ears and the senses. It's just like the loudest club music you can ever imagine, and all the credits, they keep changing like the font, like multiple times for each name. They just go through the names like about 3 or 4 times for about 2 minutes, and it's just like it's really a cool visual idea, and Kanye West stole it for the one with Rihanna. Turn all the lights. They take the thing where like the first minute of that is just the names in multiple fonts, like gaudy fonts, and it's really great because you feel like you're just being punched. Especially you see it in a theater. You
know another movie does a great font shift? Monty Python.
Yes.
And the Holy Grail.
Yeah, that was very good credit sequence.
Great font shift in Monty Python. What was your other one?
The live action one would be Duplicity. The Tony Gilroy comedy, a very underrated film.
I liked it, but I didn't do
Your scare quotes don't tell me that you liked it.
I liked it too.
I liked it.
If I like it, I mean fell asleep.
It has a very weird sense of humor that I really appreciated, and it has a really neat structure that keeps falling back on itself. And but the opening credits, it introduces you to the Paul Giamatti and Tom Wilkinson, who are rival cosmetic company CEOs who hate each other. And to demonstrate the fact that they hate each other, this is the first time we've ever seen them, they meet on the tarmac and they beat the crap out of each other in super slow motion to demonstrate that they hate each other.
Wow.
Because there was no more subtle way to do it.
Yeah. It's a very, very funny way.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's also very well done on top of that.
What do you think, Chris? Opening credits?
I think for the graphic, I really love the minimalism of Citizen Kane. It just comes up with the title, no sound, and then like the film, and so I mean, you just don't see. Particularly at the time, it was revolutionary. In terms for live action, since I forgot to mention Rent on the Wind for the death scene, I'll go ahead and mention it for the credit sequence because it's a really wonderful credit sequence, which sort of condenses all the melodrama of the film into that opening bit, and you'll see it all play out again later on, of course. But
I just saw the Palm Beach Story, which is a lesser George Stevens film.
Preston Sturges.
I'm sorry, Preston Sturges. So in Preston Sturges' Palm Beach Story, though, there's this entire credit sequence that is, it's as if you're seeing the last scene from a previous film that never existed, and they tie it back in at the end in the most weirdly roundabout way to force the ending. I won't give the ending away, except to say that it's this whole thing about getting ready for a wedding, and somebody is trapped in a closet, and the maid faints whenever she sees somebody come out of a closet, whatever, and then they get married, and it goes, okay, 3 years later they're about to get a divorce. And so everything that happened in this opening credit sequence really has no direct relationship to what happens in the film at all, and so the whole time I'm like, so was there some Preston Sturges film that came out before the Palm Beach Story that this happened in, and he was like a recap? But no, it's just it's just a completely
like the Superman 2 rundown of some other movie.
Or like in Sex and the City 1, when they do that in Sex and the City 1, where they basically say, here, in case you've never actually seen a Sex and the City, here's like in 5 minutes. Is the
well, I actually found that helpful because I was dragged to that.
Well, and it was also very inventive. I thought. I mean, you'll know more about this than I do. The freeze frame credits, which I associate with something like The Producers or something a little bit later era of comedy, and I'm not sure if that was a normal thing for comedies to do at that point, early 40s, late 30s, for the freeze frame credit, and like freeze frame on a funny image credit.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's right when they first started using optical printers. So I mean, I think you had to have the optical printer to do that. Yeah.
So that was really interesting.
I like how Soderbergh brought that back in Out of Sight. The beginning of Out of Sight. That has a great credits. Yeah. Graphically, I really like Charade, and I like North by Northwest, and I actually really like they made a version of the Adam West Batman that they released into theaters.
That's right.
It has this kind of freaky, weird opening credit sequence, which you can probably find on YouTube, of like spotlights and like hammy actors, and the spotlight it looks really cheap. Looks like it was made like $6 top. Like the light lands on Cesar Romero, and he didn't expect to have the light land on him, so he kind of is like, and then he does something muggy, and then the light moves to another actor. It's really kind of bizarre and interesting and different. But my favorite live action was probably just Hard Day's Night, just because it's so joyful. Such an amazing and of course now much parodied, but the original still holds up. Like I just saw it again recently, and I was like, wow, this is really just still good, even though I've seen a million knockoffs of this.
So remember when they reissued it in the 80s, and they actually added a thing before, where it was just they played, I think, I'll Cry instead, and there's like photos of their faces and stuff like that. It just completely takes away the energy of the opening. And then just like,
that would be terrible.
How would you do that? It's just such a dumb idea.
I feel like shaking all your hands because none of us mentioned Touch of Evil.
Well, I was
I
going to
was
say, that's
gonna
another
say
thing they
Touch of
changed,
Evil.
right?
and nobody mentioned Seven.
Yeah.
So
That is really good.